Hi everyone. Not long ago, I went to Bangkok for a company meeting that discusses a lot about security and a discussion on the latest trends and what are the threats that we face. I think one epiphany that I had was this idea that could really change the way security works for us, despite all the technologies, the policies, the governance. And I just want to share it with you. Keep watching. Hi, I'm Aloysius and welcome to InfoSec Alloy, a place to help you get your next cybersecurity job and to share knowledge for those who already are. So this idea that I had was to help us understand the situation that we are currently facing in our modern times. The reason being is that most of the organizations that we work with or work for or going to work for are usually quite robust in the tools that they are using or we are using. For instance, my company probably has quite a few tools, and I know that we use quite a few tools to ensure our security. So I would say that we are pretty well protected and well secured. However, I feel that one of our biggest weakness, and probably the biggest weakness of all, is the people. If you look at all the articles that you see right now, example in Bleeping Monitor, most of all the cases, the entry point is always through social engineering. It's the negligence of our users, the negligence of ourselves when we are handling things, we're handling our technologies, our devices, our systems, and the way we run our environment. As a very wise person once told me, you can have a tower of redundancy of security, but the weakest link in this chain is us people who use these technologies on a day-to-day basis. I will probably give you an example that you might face yourself. You've just been hit by a malware and you have no idea where it came from. And when you track back, you start to realize that, oh gosh, recently I just installed a free software that I thought was clean and I thought it was legitimate. But in the end, it didn't turn out to be that way. And it's just a side note, something that you need to take note of. If it's usually free, you got to be really careful because it might be bundled with things that you might not want in your computer. But in any case, with this problem in hand, what's the solution? I think the proactive thing that we need to do is a perspective change, a change in our perception in viewing security. Probably the reason why we are either not vigilant, or we are neglectful, or just can't be bothered with security due to the fact that it sometimes causes inconvenience, or we are not aware of the risks that we face during our day-to-day basis. Here are some solutions, right? The idea is that we're trying to cultivate a positive attitude towards security, and you realize that this has multiple benefits towards your company. It makes all your tools optimized for usage. It changes the way your company handles projects to reduce risks. It allows your organization to understand the problems that it faces. And because of the culture change and the attitude towards security, you're going to see a dramatic drop in cases because people become more aware of what is the problems that they're facing, the things, the loopholes that attackers are able to exploit. They are going to be more vigilant and more aware, and they will be less likely to get affected by those attacks. Let's address a few of the pain points that most people have when it comes to security. Number one, it's usually very inconvenient because most of the time people find that security just adds another layer of action that needs to be done. And I think the reason why they have this view on security is because they don't understand the risk that they face, right? The problems that they face and the impact that it might have on them until it affects them. Education is by far the best way to go approach and cultivate this culture and attitude towards security. Breaking down and relating the risks that users face on a daily basis allows them to understand the impact they themselves have in the environment and systems. I'll give you an example. For instance, a user may not think too much about being able to use local administrator rights in their computer, but they fail to realize that that is actually an opening for attackers. Example, they may be tempted to use a illegitimate software. They haven't budgeted for it, so they got to find a free, cracked, pirated software without knowing that it could be embedded with a malware inside. If the user were to use a lower privileged account, he may not be able to install it, thus stopping the issue. But if the person has local admin rights, it will allow the attacker, the malware, to spread because it will be able to overtake that local privilege account if it's part of the attack pattern. See, if that's the case, correct, this could all be changed if, for instance, the user allowed themselves to change their privilege on the environment so that they know that they can work with whatever privilege they need and then let go of that local admin. So they sacrifice their convenience for security and realize that actually it works out for them because they don't have to worry about all the risks. The privilege account helps them, and in a way it solves their convenience issue because they don't have to think about it, right? But having another benefit for having a positive security attitude, let's say that he really requires local admin. If he had a positive attitude towards security, he will also understand the risk of having the local admin and thus respect that privilege. He will probably be able to tell himself, hey, this is a cracked software, there could be malware in it. It's going to be an issue for us. If we install something like this in our system, best not to run it. If you realize it doesn't matter the outcome or the method through the security is in place, as long as there's a positive security attitude, it allows the user to be flexible and to be liberal with how they secure themselves. And for a company perspective, this allows them to know that, hey, I know that my users are well aware of the risks and I know that they will proactively reduce it themselves. And it just reduces the impact or the risk exposed for their environment, their system, their organization. So that was just one example of how a positive attitude towards security can just benefit the whole entire company. And can you imagine if this one person is able to do that for themselves, the power of the whole organization being like that just allows the company to be fully protected themselves. There will be a more harmonious security within the organization. As a security profession, I urge you and encourage you to take a proactive approach. Instead of going for the newest security tools, though it's important still, have the proactive initiative to build this culture within your own organization, your own company, your own team. Start small, maybe someone that you work with or a team that you work with, and grow it out. With this attitude, people will be more encouraged to utilize the tools that they have, to willingly work with the tools that they have to secure the environment, and have the know-how to respect the data, the risks that they face each day, and overall just reduce all the risks that an organization may take. I hope this was helpful in a way. I'm sorry if it's all jumbled up, but I just needed to share this important factor that I feel that most organizations nowadays fail to have and fail to realize that the people are the biggest thing, and they are the ones that have the most power over our environment. So until the next video, I hope to see you again. Bye.